Ever feel like your brain is tuned to a frequency no one else can hear? You walk into a room, and before a single word is traded, you've already mapped the tension, the hidden agendas, and the grief people are trying to bury. People tell you to stop overthinking, to calm down, or call you too intense. What if they're wrong? What if what you've been fighting as a flaw is actually a high-level survival upgrade? This is traumatic intelligence, a silent, razor-sharp processing power forged in the fire of survival. Sign 1. The ability to read the room. You don't just walk through life, you calculate it. Your nervous system has spent years in a state of high alert, what psychologists call neuroception, constantly scanning for shifts in the environment. You aren't just listening to words, you're decoding the subtext. That micro tremor in a boss's voice, that split-second look of contempt your partner tried to hide, you catch it all. It's not anxiety, it's predictive pattern recognition. You've mapped the emotional weather of human interaction so thoroughly that you can forecast a storm long before the clouds even gather. You aren't just reading the room, you're navigating a map that everyone else is functionally blind to. Sign 2. Predictive empathy. Most people experience empathy as a messy, reactive overflow. You're crying, so now I'm crying. That's surface level. You, however, possess strategic empathy. You're an emotional architect. You don't wait for someone to ask for help, you just show up. You hand someone a napkin the second before the first tear falls because you've already processed their pain. It's a high-speed cognitive reflection loop. But here's the trap: emotional contagion. Because you're so porous, you're constantly bleeding out for others. You need soft boundaries, a thin, permeable layer that lets you understand their pain without having to house it in your own body. Does this feel like looking in a mirror? If this resonates, hit the like button. Sharing your experiences in the comments builds a sanctuary for people who finally feel understood. Subscribe and stay with me until the end. The final sign is the one that changes everything. Sign 3. An eerie calm in a crisis. Here's the strange paradox. When everyone else loses their minds, you wake up. When the fog of panic descends, your default mode network, the part of your brain that usually keeps you stuck in what-if loops, shuts off. You go cold. You go efficient. You aren't emotionless. You're just deeply familiar with the terrain of disaster. You've survived the big storms of your past, so this current crisis, it's just a breeze. People naturally gravitate toward you because your stillness is a form of power. You're the ship that doesn't sink, simply because you were built to handle the roughest seas. Sign 4. Intense sensitivity to injustice. Your sensitivity to injustice isn't a bad temper. It's positive rage. It's the byproduct of a value system born in fire. You refuse to live on the surface because you know the hollow cost of indifference. When you see someone being treated unfairly, it hits your biological systems like an alarm bell. You're the one who calls out the lie, not because you enjoy the conflict, but because you know that peace built on deceit is a cage. You're a living moral compass. In a world of comfortable silence, your voice, or even your focused, quiet judgment, is the most dangerous weapon against apathy. At the end of the day, traumatic intelligence isn't a crack in your foundation. It's a fracture, mended with gold, the Japanese art of kintsugi. It makes you more resilient and infinitely more valuable. You aren't a broken version of yourself. You are a hardened upgrade, forged by the times you thought you wouldn't make it. Don't settle for just surviving. Use this frequency to lead your own path. If you see yourself in these signs, leave a comment about your journey. I read every single one. Thank you for walking with raw human psychology to the very last second. Don't forget to subscribe so we can keep decoding the deepest layers of the human mind. Take care of yourself today. You've earned a moment of peace.